I want my life to be prosperous right now. I'm going to elect anyone that promises me that things will be prosperous. The way that they do that is debt and printing money. You can only take on so much debt and print so much money before something happens. It's typically a pandemic or war, and that breaks the back. Like you said, the medicine cabinet's empty and we got sick again. So we have no money remaining because we've been spending in foreign wars and printing our way out of 2008, printing our way out of COVID. And so now it's like, okay, so I'm going to make a hypothesis. I'm not the thinker to listen to on this. I just want people to understand how I approach novel problems. So I'm looking at this moment and I say, okay, what I understand about things is when you print money too much, you just increase inflation. That when we added $1 trillion of debt in a month. In a month, dude, we only have $33 trillion in debt. So like if you're adding that in a month, like this is bad. And this is times of like, everything's okay, but we're sending billions of dollars in aid to foreign wars. We just had another war pop off with another ally. Like, what are we going to do? I have no idea what we're going to do, but I start looking at that and I'm like, if I hate America and I'm just looking at the chessboard and I'm playing to win, and let's say China is the most logical example. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I'm playing to win. I see a weakness in here. And P.S., most of the war is always going to be fought surreptitiously. So I'm going to start doing my road and belt, or belt and suspenders, whatever the fuck it's called.
Belt and road.
Belt and road, thank you. So I'm going around, I'm investing. Belt and suspenders
is a whole different thing.
Different thing. I'm going around and I'm investing in all these different countries to make sure that I have allies that want to work with me, that are basically invested in my policies, my influence in the region. And look, of course, China has its own problems, and I'm, as an American, I'm counting on that, hobbling them enough that it's sort of everything balances out, and that there isn't some runaway train where everything's great for China and we're too weak. But that's the power dynamic. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, if China takes a stance on Israel-Palestine, I'm going to be very curious to see what the posture is. And again, if I can believe what I saw on X today, their stance is that Israel has gone too far and this is no longer defense. That can be read. Again, I'm not the person to go listen to Ian Bremmer. He's going to be a far wiser voice on all this than I am, or Ray Dalio for that matter. But I'm going to guess that it's playing out something like this. That's a shot across the bow for America to say, hey, America, not the thing to back. We think they need to back off. If you keep saying, yeah, they should be defending themselves, then, okay, one, we think that you're overextending. We're letting you know how we think about this. We're watching to see how far that goes, how tied up in that you goes, what other areas in the region pop off. If obviously Iran, I think, made a public statement where they're like, we don't want to see this go anywhere, which would be awesome. But like this is the chessboard. So China wants to see how tangled does America get into that. They're obviously not for Israel going any harder. Are they going to get involved? Are they not? Who knows? We'll see. But if that's them setting the stage for them to move something forward with Taiwan, those are the pieces moving around the chessboard that makes me go, okay, what do I do if this really does escalate into a world war, a true global conflict? What are the different players looking for, and how do I position myself to not get mauled by all of this, and to ideally actually be able to take advantage of the opportunities? Now, I can't tell you, I would not trust myself enough to be the purveyor of the news of what to do in that. I'm the person I trust to say, this is how you need to think through the novel problem. You need to be resilient. You need to understand that opportunities are going to open up. You need to have enough dry powder that you're able to take advantage of that, which means that you have to be fiscally responsible. And so anybody that's telling you to just spend, and we can print money forever, that is not a person you want to listen to. That's somebody that's going to get overextended and out over their skis. So I try to be really honest with myself and others about the part you can listen to me on and the part where you need to go find somebody smarter. So getting the sort of geopolitical landscape, don't know. I'm listening to other people, but understanding how to have the mental and financial fortitude to have an all-weather strategy, that I've got to take on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the incentives to me are very, very simple. People don't want to reduce their quality of life now, even if it means impoverishing their grandchildren, which to me is one of the most horrific and irresponsible things we can do as a society. But that is exactly what we've been doing,
and will do,
and will continue to do.
I don't see a way to stop.
I don't either, because I don't know if you have this conversation here in the US, but in the UK, it's like, what, you want to reduce public spending? That's killing people. That's the moronic level at which we have the conversation. It doesn't go any further than that.
Yeah. Do you think that's a problem? I think that is the current language around the forever thing, which is what you just said. I don't want to reduce the quality of my life. And 15 years is a long time to punt. And maybe it's not 15, maybe it's 50. And so since I don't know the timing and can't get it right, yeah, I'll punt. So print money, take out debt. I heard back in the 80s we had trillions of dollars of debt. It's not a problem. It's all good. And the bad news is, and this falls into the same category of thing as the malleability thing, where it's like, you can really get away with bad thinking for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is it bad thinking? Or is the world going to get a clown on me in 10 years because I was wrong? And I mean, I can assure you, I'm so confident that I'm right about be resilient, understand human nature, find your way to ground truth, be a prediction engine. But we'll see. Only the fullness of time will tell. So what do we do with that? How do you have a strategy for unwinding this?
It's going to sound very naive after everything you've said, but tell the truth. Tell the truth, change the culture, in terms of, look at the way that this format has changed the way we communicate. The media empires of the future are going to be built in the next 10 years, and it's going to look like something like this. Podcasters coming together under one umbrella, or various media outlets being formed from new media. This is the future, what we're doing here.
Did you know that the Daily Wire made $200 million last year?
I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. Those guys are kicking ass.
Bro. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So Trigger Media is going to be
the next $200 million company?
We'll see about that. It's harder to do in the UK. So it might be a £50 million company
or you might
to
move
start.
To the US,
or we might move to the US over time. You're right, exactly. But that's what I want to do. And part of the reason I want to do that, the main reason I want to do that, isn't to make $200 million. It's to change the way we have these conversations.
I thought you were going to say $1 billion.
Well,
like this chump change, this $200 million bullshit.
Trigonometry and what we do has always been mission driven first. And I know
the only way to make the money. I'll just tell you that right now.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
It is so fucking hard. The only thing I guarantee, you said it earlier, new fights are coming your way. The stakes are getting higher. The more money you make, mo money, mo problems. That shit is so fucking real, dude. Like, that is just so real. So success is a game of attrition. I have to find a cooler way to say that. Everybody gives up. Everybody gives up.
Really?
Yes. That's
Why?
it. Name a podcaster. They're going to give up. Joe Rogan will get so rich one day he's just gonna be like, I don't fucking want to deal with this anymore. He's gonna quit. He
loves doing it though.
I use him only as an example. He's fucking amazing. And off camera, you and I were saying, I think he's the GOAT. And look, I want it to be me. I want to beat him. I'm in this every day to beat Joe Rogan. But I want to acknowledge the man is fucking amazing. He's killing it. He has set the bar very high. But ultimately, the number of, now save me from Warren Buffett's. You have to name all the basketball players and all the money guys. Warren Buffett, that's rare. That you get somebody that keeps playing the game at that level, dealing with those kind of headaches for that long. So yeah, people give up. The stats around companies that scale are terrifying. It's something like, these are directionally correct, though not specifically accurate. 90% of all companies fail to get to $1 million. 99.8% of all companies fail to get to 10 million. It is vanishingly slim, the number of companies that do $10 million in revenue. Because one, you have to have the right ideas, but two, you have to weather so many storms and so much boredom, people will quit. This is why, to me, it's a set of ideas that turn you into an anti-fragile warrior for your cause. And so when it gets hard and your revenue's declining, the world's making fun of you, you made a real mistake and it really cost you money. And Francis is rightfully upset with you. And your kid has a fucking choir practice or a recital. It's a choir recital. And if you go to that choir recital, you will lose $1 million deal. What the fuck do? the vast majority of humanity, one, they just can't face that they really fucked up and that their business partner has a right to be mad at them. They can't deal with missing their kids' band. It's not worth it to them. They don't want to miss it. And so they go do that thing and they justify it and they say, this is more important. And maybe it is. Maybe I'm the fucking madman. But they go to that thing. And when they go to that thing, I don't. I'm a fucking machine. I didn't even have kids. And that person goes, Tom, you're wasting your life. You don't even know what joy is. Cool. I'm still going to eat your fucking lunch. And so maybe I will be on my deathbed crying myself to sleep. But remember, I'm the guy saying it's about impact. It's about who you're fighting for. But because I show up every day fighting for people, humans, people that I know and love and can visualize. And dude, now I've been at this long enough because remember, the thing that is now Impact Theory University used to be Quest University. And so I've been at this game for well over a decade, 12 years, 13 years, something like that. So I've got fucking students that are like, bro, I built this multi-million-dollar business. I can't thank you enough. Bro, I'm making $150,000 and I never thought that I would make more than minimum wage. Like person after person after person after person. I know these fucking ideas work. So because I'm doing it for those people, I don't quit. If I wasn't doing it for those people and I was just doing it for the fucking money, why would I keep doing it? I've already got money.
That's a good point. That makes sense to me. So yeah, Trigger Media is mission driven, always has been, always will be. And I think we have an opportunity to change. The medium is the message. This is a different medium to the way that this conversation has been had up to now. This is an opportunity to get the truth out. This is how a lot of people are now getting educated about what the world is and what's happening. You are not going to hear this conversation on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or anywhere else, right? And quality over time will win, I think. So I believe that we have to get these ideas out there. And then we'll see, can we change that culture or not? That remains to be seen. But the media empires of the future are going to be built in the next 10 years. There's no question about that for me. And we're going to build one of them.
It's incredible. I love that you have a mission. The mission, I think, revolves around changing culture. Is that specifically how you see it? Like we have to get the ideas out there.
Yes.
So if you had to boil Trigger Media down to one core idea, because I have a feeling this is going to feed into my new set of rules here, what is the core idea that you think needs to be injected into society? And if it's truth, give me what truth, or how do you define that? Is it the ability to predict? Like, what's the core idea you want to inject?
It's funny that you prefaced it with that. The idea is truth matters.
Okay.
Truth matters. And yeah, I mean, you say it all the time, the ability to predict the outcome of your actions or to predict the future based on what you're saying, right? Accuracy about the future. And more broadly, you and I have talked about this many times, and including in this conversation, it's about taking ideas that work and rejecting ideas that don't. If we start there, we have a lot of work to do in our society right now. Let's start with that. Let's clear out all this bullshit about, oh, this makes me feel good, therefore it's true. If we start there, we're going to make a hell of a lot of impact on society based on what Thomas Sowell quote, the last 50 years have been spent exchanging what sounds good for what works. Let's switch that around. Let's make the next 50 years about switching what sounds good for what works and see what comes out on the other end.
If you like that clip, check out another powerful clip right here, and I'll see you there.